Hello, friends. Hope you are doing well. So, today we are going to learn a new series on Spring Boot microservices. So, first we will know that what Spring Boot is, what are their advantages, and why it has come, and what are the demerits of coming spring. That's why we have introduced the Spring Boot. So basically, if we say that why Spring Boot, so while working with the Spring framework, you might have been noticed below points, just like providing all compatible libraries. You have to upload all the libraries of the Spring MVC or Spring project, Spring core. Firstly, so there are a lot more configuration you have to do. So that's why that to provide all the compatible libraries Spring version and configure them. That is much of the paining point of the developers, that they always have to upload the libraries, jars, while and then they can start coding. So another paining point which developer feels that majority of time they just get involved in configuration in issues just like entity manager and transaction manager and view resolver, like issues. They always been in the configuration part. So a lot of time is wasted by that way. So that's why that to resolve this problem of the Spring, we have come up with the Spring Boot. So what is Spring Boot? Basically, it is a framework on top of the Spring, which is the bootstrapping and the development of new Spring applications. Basically, it provides default code annotation, configuration to quick start, and to build a production grade application is the main aim to go for the Spring Boot. And it is and here the development happens very fast. So it follows opinionated default configuration and approach to avoid boilerplate code and configuration to improve development. So that is the main aim why we have come up with the Spring Boot. So Spring Boot, if we want to understand that what is Spring Boot, it is a combination of Spring framework and embedded HTTP server. But but if you subtract the configuration part, then all that is Spring Boot. So, what are the advantages the Spring Boot is having? It's very easy to integrate a Spring Boot application with the Spring ecosystem like Spring JDBC, Spring ORM, Spring Data, and Spring Security. It provides embedded HTTP servers like Tomcat, Jetty, etc. to develop and test our web application very easily. It provides a lot of plugins to develop and test Spring Boot application very easily using build tools like Maven and Gradle. So that Maven and Gradle are the build tools which can automatically take the dependencies and they you do not have to manually put the jars. If you put the dependency in the pom.xml, they will take the jars online, and they will build the your project. So it provides a lot of plugins to work with embedded and the in-memory database very easy. So now you are if you have to use any database, any type of plugins you want to use, just include the jar of that plugin, and you are ready to go. So these are the advantages with the Spring Boot has come up with us. So yeah, in the next section we will see that how how we can develop an application. Basically, here you need some of the basic requirements are there to build Spring Boot application, that you should have there are there are some limitations also behind for that, but you should at least have Java 1.8, and you should have the knowledge of build tools just like Maven and Dattle. And ID, you can take IntelliJ, Eclipse, STS, and NetBeans. So basically, if you talk about the limitation of the Spring framework, so converting a Spring framework application to a Spring Boot application is a bit time consuming process, because you have to lot of things, you have to dependencies, you have to take it, and lot of efforts taken replacing the annotation. That's the reason it is it is not a straightforward process. Spring Boot follows opinionated development approach, so do the things in different ways we will be difficult and frustrating. That's another reason about that. So in the next section, we will develop one Spring Boot application, and let's see that how they give the how fast it can be made, and how professionally it can give the development environment to us. So please hit and like and subscribe my channel, so that I can, it gives me motivation to make more videos. So if you like the video and get the knowledgeable information, please hit and like the video. Thank you.